Testing, testing. Ah, we got it. All right, so now I actually see something going on. Let me make sure and transition that to make sure that you can actually hear me. So, as I was ranting and raving before I tested my audio, we got it. All right, so. All right, it's working. All right, so we got video, we got audio. Wow, just another attack to add to the stack. It's the attack stack. 2 weeks ago, I was out. I guess it was last week. Last week I was out with a cold, missed a lot of days, missed my non-negotiables, let those down. And today, I was all set to come in and teach. And I dropped into our Facebook group and went in to do the teaching today on financial literacy. And YouTube said you can't go live. I'm like, what? I've been going live all year, and today I can't go live. So I'm like, oh, I want to quit. I just want to go hide in a cave and curl up and pretend that I know what I'm talking about. Because I don't. I'm just here doing the best I can with what I've got. So I said, what am I going to do? I'm going to jump over here and run over to YouTube and record, follow the plan, follow the best laid plan, and do it. So the question is, are you financially literate? Are you biblically literate? And how can you do a little bit of both? Or how can you do all of both? Finance is easy. Okay, that's the wrong word. Finance is simple. The problem with a lot of the advertising these days is that simple versus easy mindset parallel. Simple and easy are not the same thing. Everything that's easy isn't always simple. It's easy to press a button and get an effect. It could be completely the opposite of simple on the back end. It could do a whole bunch of different things. I have a button that I used recently that deployed my website for my client and just got it up and running and all the right pieces in the right places and everything ready to go. And it was a button. I just clicked it. That's simple, but it's not easy. A lot of times, finance takes a mindset shift. Mary is our second eldest daughter, and I don't know what she does, but she does it simple and easy. She's figured out she doesn't do a budget. She doesn't follow the guidelines we've given her. She's beaten them. She's gone to she's taken it and recognized how simple it is, and she's made it easy. It's like the common sense thing that goes on in your head. Part of Kingdom Family Leader is bless yourself. One of the phrases I often say is, if I don't have $100, I can't give you $100. And by blessing ourselves, we bless ourselves to the point at which we can overflow, that we can be filled by God, by the Holy Spirit, and overflow that. If we don't allow $100 to come in, we are not in a position to pour it out in giving, in excess, in overflow. And that's as simple as home finance is. Except our world has filled us with these ideas, these thoughts that we need more, that we deserve more, that we are doing these things so we deserve something that we don't have yet. And our daughter, she graduated from high school, went out on her own. She's in college now. And over the last couple of years, I have been watching her account balance go up just steady. Why? Because if she doesn't have $100, she doesn't spend $100. In fact, if she has $100, she spends like $50 or $20 or $25. We're just so proud of how she handles God's money. And that's a good place to start for all of this. This is God's money, and what does God think about it? How does God want us to use it? How does God want us to be stewards of his money? One day I got a little concerned because she had this automatic payment, it looked like, coming out of her account on a regular basis. And I'm like, hey, Mary, did you notice that you had this thing coming out of your account all the time? I was thinking all kinds of crazy, stupid things that didn't make any sense because of how she's handled her money, how she's handled her stewardship of God's money. And I saw this coming out. I'm like, uh-oh, does she have a huge credit card bill that we don't know about? What is this thing going on? Her and her boyfriend were over at dinner shortly after that discovery. So I'm still recovering from that little cold thing. And I said, hey, Mary, did you notice this? And she said, well, yeah. I said, do you know what it is? Is it okay? She's like, it's my Roth IRA. I'm like, what? Her boyfriend and her talked and decided it would be a really wise thing to do a Roth IRA. So that's what she did. And I was like, just blew my mind away. One, biblical management of money, spending less than she earns, and investing in her retirement. Part of the Dave Ramsey program, Financial Peace University, my wife and I used to facilitate that and teach that to people. I still help people with finances. That's part of the first pillar of Kingdom Family Leader and blessing yourself. Oh, that tickle is stuck in my throat. In the early stages of Financial Peace University, it really talks about two guys, Ben and Author, and it goes here, Ben and Author, and it talks about what they're up to. Basically, Ben starts investing right away, and that's our Mary. He starts investing right away at 19, and during that year he invests $2,000, and then in the next year he invests $2,000, and the next year he invests $2,000. His brother Author is like doing nothing, invests $0, $0, $0. So after 8 years, in the example in the math that Dave shares with us, Ben's invested $2,000 times 8 years, $16,000. 2,000 is like, and it's not $200 a month. If you know anybody who's 18 or younger, and you can convince them, give them a mindset, give them a set of beliefs, these numbers are crazy. It doesn't take a lot. At 27, Arthur begins investing and says, hey, Ben's doing some good stuff over there. At 26, Ben's investments have already paid him $10,000. He's got an average of $27,551. As he goes down this chart, on the left side here, Ben stops. Oops, that's the wrong left side. On the left side here, Ben stops investing after 8 years. And he just lets that $16,000 churn and churn and churn. until he's 65. Arthur, on the other hand, continues at a rate of $2,000 right down on the right side here. He keeps putting in $2,000 a month for his entire life from 27 to 65. And the numbers are phenomenal. The numbers are amazing. If we look at the bottom, that simple amount of savings over time, you can see Big Brother Ben leading the way, $2,288,000. He came out $700,000 ahead. Brother Arthur, $1,532,000. So just that time period of getting started sooner. It's simple. We've been talking about, that's been the topic all day. It's simple. You put in a core block of money and you have it compound and build upon itself over time. And when you get it in there and get it down, that's $700,000 Arthur lost by waiting those years. And some of us are like 50 and going, oh no, I'm in a panic. No, do what you can do now. Coming off of that cold, I had this big mentality in my head that I need to catch up. I need to do all these things because I missed out on doing these things while I was sick. I need to make a difference in the past. I need to crush and destroy my present to make a difference for my past. When we went to Financial Peace University, that's exactly the mindset we came in for. I came in and I said, I haven't been tithing and giving to the Lord, and I need to match. I need to catch up. I need to do something. God's not all about, there is no catch up. Jesus is a bottle of ketchup, right? There is no ketchup outside of Jesus. Everything is caught up. Everything is forgiven. Everything is good. So I was like, great. What's the best thing I can do right now? And today I wanted to quit and not do this step, this teaching point. And I'm not sure where to go with this financial literacy. But first of all, the simple financial literacy is to spend less than you make. If you're, spending less than you make. And that's where Mary has nailed it out of the park. Some of the other stuff beyond that is if you are in debt and you need to get out of it, you need to do something and go through the debt snowball. One of my other videos talks about the debt snowball and how to get out of debt. And then you need to start just being smart with your money. And how you relate to money, and set a budget. Mary doesn't need a budget. She could benefit and do some things with a budget, but she doesn't need it. On our other kids, some of them, they look at the money and they go, oh, look at that. Yep, I got some money. I'm gonna spend it. And it's like, you have money and you're gonna spend it? You have a bill due next week. It's not due now. I got money. I'm going to spend it. And then it's gone. And then the bill comes due and they wonder why their savings account automatically transferred money into their checking account to cover their overdraft. And that's very, very American. That's very along the line of the credit card and the other things that are going on. That's par for the course. But that's not God's way with money. God's way is to have a plan, follow a plan, avoid debt like the plague. I like Dave Ramsey has a proverb from the past about running and sprinting and avoiding money problems. I was going to go in and keep going on financial peace kind of overview, but my voice is just not working with it. So cash flow planning, do a budget, get a budget. You need a budget. I'll do something on that in the future. Buyer beware. Be smart about what you buy, what you're spending your money on. If it's a car or something that's getting less value all the time, it's play. It's a toy. It's not a business. It's not an investment. The role of insurance. That's probably the key area that we're going to cover today that we didn't cover in the seven baby steps as we talked through those in my other video series. But insurance has an important place in our lives, our financial peace. Our responsibility as kingdom family leaders is to take care of the expenses that we can't take care of. And do that through the tool of insurance. My wife and I each have a term life policy. That term life policy has about 10 years left on it because that's when all the kids will be out of the house. And on our current trajectory, that should pay off the house and take care of all those expenses. If I were to pass away or Leah were to pass away, our insurance would kick in and we would have enough to invest and continue being there as a single parent, being present for our kids, for college, for paying off the house, for having investments in place to cover our lifestyle, to cover where we're at, to cover the grief and the loss and the recovery for not only ourselves, but for our kids. We also have to renew, but we have a will if both of us were to pass away. It used to be written in our will that our kids can't have anything until they go through Financial Peace University. We think it's that important to be good stewards of God's money. A good rule of thumb for life insurance is to have 10x what your annual expenses are. As we talked about the emergency fund, having 3 to 6 months in your emergency fund, that's 3 to 6 months of expenses. What's a year's worth of expenses? And having insurance to cover 10x that, because if you have that lump sum of money, you should be able to invest it and get 10% off those investments to maintain the seed money that's in there and get money to live off of, to take care of things. The next common insurance that you need to have is auto insurance. A lot of times the auto insurance recommendations are not quite high enough. They aren't what you need to have. You need to up that amount and get some more money in there on that, because if you run into a Tesla or a luxury car, or our daughter was surprised at how high her insurance is because it's a large car. It fits lots of people. It can have lots of victims in it in the case of an accident. So ours is like $350,000 for the thing, and I think the minimum in the state is $250 or $200, something like that. So talk to your insurance guy, talk about what's the catastrophic thing here, and get those prices in the right place. It's a trade-off. You can buy more insurance and buy less cost when you have an accident, or more cost when you have an accident, and have that trade-off. The third type of insurance you need to have is health insurance. We use Christian healthcare ministries to cover our family and our kids. And it's been a great relationship. It's been going up just as much as all the other stuff, but as a starting point, it's a lot lower cost, and the costs are shared with other Christian families that have professed their faith in a belief statement that they're living biblical lives, financially, sexually, healthfully, and contributing there. And they've covered all kinds of different expenses for us on the medical side. We have dental insurance, which is kind of here nor there. It's not a required insurance, but it's a handy or convenience, as well as dental and vision, depending where you're at with people on there. The next couple insurances are kind of get into new territory. The first one is disability insurance, long-term disability insurance. So if I were all of a sudden unable to work, we have a 6-month waiting period in our disability insurance, and then it would kick in until 65 to pay a majority of our income if I get disabled, if I get injured. I'm the main breadwinner here. Wow, that tickles there. I thought I was able to speak already today, and I'm glad I'm learning that now. So disability insurance is just insurance to pick up if you're disabled. You get some of that through the government. It takes a while to prove your case and get everything figured out. And if we have 3 to 6 months in an emergency fund, then we can use that emergency fund to get through that waiting period for the disability insurance. And then once that disability insurance kicks in, you're good. Well, the whole time you're good to go, because you've been a good steward of the money the Lord has given you and put in your care. The next one is long-term care insurance. So long-term care insurance is the old folks home insurance, the retirement community insurance. There's a huge number. Let me see if I can look it up here. I might be able to fast enough. Home owners. Oh, skip that one. Come back to that one. Long-term care insurance. Among the people turning 65, a majority, most of them, more than half, will need some time of long-term care, long-term nursing home, nursing facility, and that can degrade or shrink your nest egg and your legacy or inheritance that you give to your kids, or at I think it's age 60, the best price balance, according to Dave Ramsey, steps in and saying you're likely to need it, and if you can, the sooner you get it, the cheaper it is, and then the longer you get to pay for it. So getting that long-term care insurance at 60 is a good trade-off to get the right price and be safe and secure, and protect your life. So good life insurance, identity theft protection. Be careful with those. Some of them just give you a credit score and a credit background. You need something that actually has restoration services. They're going to get on the phone and do the calling and do the restoration of your credit. There's so many of them out there these days that say, yeah, we'll help you. You do the stuff, and we'll tell you what to do. And it's like, whoa, that can take hours and hours and hours taken away from your day. That's a really cheap but very affordable type of insurance. And the one I skipped was homeowners and renters insurance. If you bought a house, it's likely built into your mortgage and in your payment plan to have homeowners insurance to cover the loss and replacement of the house. If you're a renter, if your kids are going to college like ours, they're going out on their own and they're renting something, it's their responsibility to have renter's insurance. It's really cheap, like $20-30 for 6 months to replace all the stuff in their apartment if their apartment happens to burn down. Dave tells a story about one of his guys about his place burned down that it was renting from Dave Ramsey, and the guy comes to Dave and goes, "Well, when can we get my furniture replaced?" And Dave looks at the guy with complete disbelief and says, "That's your furniture. You need to have coverage for your stuff, even when you're a renter, because that landlord's policy covers the structure, the building. If you were to die and there was some liability because of it, that's what that covers. Your stuff is your responsibility, and getting that renter's insurance or homeowner's insurance is key." So those are the insurances that you should put in place to give you financial literacy, financial freedom, financial peace in how you're managing your finances. Let's review them quick. Auto insurance, homeowners or renters insurance, health insurance, disability insurance, long-term care insurance, and identity theft insurance, and life insurance. So all of those insurances are going to give you financial solitude, knowing and having those in there. You don't need cancer insurance. You don't need accident insurance. Well, except for the car insurance, that's an accident insurance of sorts. You don't need all these specific types of insurance, because your insurance is already covered. Like cancer is a health thing. Your health insurance will cover those types of issues. Your life insurance will cover that. Some of the life insurances start paying early if you get diagnosed with something really crappy that's going to mess up your life and take you away from your home and family, so that you can use that piece, that payment, in a season of love, in a season of living and being present and modeling God's ways for your kids and your family. So I'm going to keep talking over the next few weeks about Bless Yourself, our first island, and how financial literacy fits into that. And let me know in the comments what else you want to hear about. Today's topic was mainly finances are simple. Spend less than you earn. Save, invest, let it compound, and get the right insurances in place to protect you. Get out of debt, get a group of accountability, join the Kingdom Family Leader movement, get involved, ask questions. Where two or more are gathered in His name, He is there amongst them. So, that's it. I am here to serve. I am here to be the best I can be, the best servant of God's kingdom that I can be, to help you live, grow, create abundance and impact by blessing yourself, expanding your territory, and serving His kingdom to create kingdom, abundance, and impact. You be blessed.